Welcome to the InfoWars Nightly News. I'm David Knight. It's Thursday, February 27th, 2014, and here are our top stories.
Tonight, American sailors are left crippled from Fukushima radiation. Then, a central banker becomes the new Ukrainian prime minister. And Russian jets are put on combat alert. That's next on the InfoWars Nightly News.
Like Howard Beale says in Network, you've got to get mad. You've got to get angry. You've got to find your humanity. And you got to start kicking some New World Order ass in the InfoWar.
Well, has Washington finally gotten the response that they want from the Russians? Remember the Cold War? Remember the good old days of high profits for the military-industrial complex and the whole world living on the brink of nuclear war? Well, that seems to be what Washington wants to bring back. That and, of course, banker control of the Ukraine. We see that Russia's put fighter jets on combat alert as tensions are mounting. Paul Joseph Watson reports Russian fighter jets along the country's western border have been put on combat alert as tensions mount over fears that Moscow is preparing to intervene militarily to protect its interests in the Ukraine. They're saying constant air patrols are being carried out by fighter jets in the border regions. Yesterday, a snap drill involving 150,000 troops was announced that it would take place in western Russia. And of course, Moscow has also announced plans that it's going to have a massive expansion of its global military presence with a number of new bases in countries like Vietnam, Cuba, remember that? Cuba base, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and Singapore. It's significant because Russia currently only has one naval base outside the former Soviet Union in Tartus, Syria. And of course, they're attacking their military access, their naval access, through the Crimea. What do they think they're going to get from the Russians? Well, we know what they think because we had Victoria Nuland, the Assistant Secretary of State for Europe and Eurasian Affairs at the State Department in the U.S. She calls the Ukrainian ambassador on an unsecured line and basically with ham-fisted hubris talks about how they want to F the EU and then has the audacity to say, I'm amazed that Russia would be listening to my phone conversation. She knows that they're listening to her phone conversation. Come on, that's all we've been talking about for the last year is how the NSA and intelligence agencies are listening to everyone's phone conversation. So when she, as a Secretary of State assistant at the State Department, when she calls the Ukrainian ambassador, she doesn't think that's being monitored. She doesn't think it's going to go out. That's ridiculous. Now, of course, today she's talking about Yat. That's right, Yats, her newfound friend in the Ukraine. He's a central banker that's now been appointed as the prime minister of the Ukraine. According to Kurt Nemo, he says a reshuffled Ukrainian parliament that's been installed after a coup last week has voted to appoint Arseniy Yatsenyuk as the new prime minister of the company, or she calls him Yats. I guess I'll call him Yats too, since that's kind of a difficult name to pronounce. But it says, this is the way Bloomberg reports this. They say, Ukraine is on the brink of bankruptcy and needs to be saved from collapse. And Yats has a strong economic background. In other words, that's code word for, yeah, he's a banker. That's a quote from the Heritage Foundation talking to Bloomberg. Now, the IMF is stepping in. They're going to offer $35 billion to the Ukraine. This is the way they're going to enslave them. Russia was only giving them $15 billion, but the IMF is going to offer them $35. It's very much like the offers you get right after you graduate college. You know, they want all these credit card loans that they're going to extend to you. They need to look at the terms. They need to look at what the IMF has done to destroy democracy in Greece and Italy, taking out duly elected people and putting in Goldman Sachs bankers. They're going to loot the country of the Ukraine. And at the same time, the U.S. State Department and the military-industrial complex see a way that they can revive Cold War tensions and create yet another new profit center for the military-industrial complex. They lost the Cold War profit center when Russia collapsed, and then they started the police state, the terrorism state profit center. Now they're going to go back and re-add the Cold War profit center. It just keeps following the money. Follow the money and see what these guys do. That's what this is about.
The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super male vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super male vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. For a limited time, we are offering 15% off Super Male Vitality at InfoWarsLife.com to introduce you to this powerful supplement. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality. InfoWarsLife.com.